Hello, Mr. Dre back with another video, and in this one we're going to be taking a look at long division, right? We have three problems, okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through each problem step by step, and so at the end you should have a pretty good idea of how to divide, and in all three of these problems you can see we're dividing by one digit, right? So in this first one we're going to take a look at 83 divided by 5, right? So just like we did with multiplication, how we broke the second number apart and then put it back together again, that's why we had partial products at the bottom. We're gonna do that same thing here, because I don't know about you, but most people only know their 5 times tables up to 12. So that's 60, right? 5 times 12 is 60, and 83 is bigger than that. So I don't know how many times 5 goes into 83, right? I know it's gonna be bigger than 12, but I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna break apart the 83 into 80 and then 3. And then in this problem, we're gonna break apart the 158 into 100. I'll cover it up with my fingers. 100, 50, and then 8, right? So it's the same idea. We're breaking it apart to make it easier for us because we don't know our facts that high, right? So how many times so in this problem, 83 divided by 5, how many times can 5 go into 8? That's our first problem, right? How many times can 5 go into 8? Well, I know it can go in one time, because 5 times 1, or 1 times 5, is 5, right? So far we divide it. Now we just multiplied. 1 times 5 is 5. Now we're gonna subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, this 3, your difference once you subtract, always has to be less than what we're calling our divisor, right? So 3 is less than 5, so we're all good. So we can drop down this next place value, right? Now we have 33 left over, okay? How many times can 5 go into 33? Well, 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30, okay? 33 minus 30 is 3. And since there's nothing left to bring down over here, I know that 3 is our remainder, right? So this is telling me that 5 fits into 83 16 times, but there's 3 left over, right? And if I wanted to check that, I could do 16 times 5, right? I get 80, and then I add this remainder and I get 83, which matches here, okay? So 5 fits into 83 16 times, but there's 3 left over, okay? Now there are lists of steps for you to think about and try to remember. We don't always want to have to rely on this, right? We just kind of want to have it automatic so we know what to do, but there are lists of steps, right? We divide, we multiply, we subtract, we check, and we bring down, okay? And some people like to remember these with a saying, okay? Or these symbols, all right? So if you're just getting started out with this, you might want to write this down every time. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down. And some people remember it as, does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? We don't want to be adults or in high school and have to be talking about McDonald's and cheeseburgers, but if it helps you, use it, right? So let's take a look at 158 divided by 7, right? Well, like we said before, we're gonna break 158 apart into hundreds, tens, and ones. Right now we're gonna focus on the hundreds. Can 7 fit into 1? It cannot. So we could put 0, but one thing sometimes we like to do is just put a tiny, 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 only small enough for you to see it, a tiny little X there, and that's kind of like a placeholder, right? 7 can't fit into 1, so we put a little X and we can skip it. Now, 7 couldn't fit into 1, but can it fit into 15? Yes, it can. How many times? This is our division step. We're dividing 15 divided by 7. It can fit in twice, and now we're doing multiply. 7 times 2 is 14. Now we're subtracting. 15 minus 14 is 1. Now we're checking. Is 1 less than the divisor 7? Yes, so we're good. Now we're gonna bring down this next digit, which is the 8. And now our new number is 18, And notice how we go back up to the top. We repeat. Once we bring down, if we brought something down, we go back and we divide through the steps again, right? So our new number now is 18. How many times can 7 fit into 18? This is our division step. Twice. 2 times 7 is 14, right? That was our multiplication step. Now we're going to subtract. 18 minus 14 is 4. 4, we're checking. 4 is less than 7, so we're all good. There's nothing left to bring down, so that tells me that 4 is my remainder, right? So our answer is 22, remainder 4. 7 can fit into 158 22 times, but there's going to be 4 left over, right? Okay, and I could do my multiplication to check it. Okay, last one. 642 divided by 9. We're gonna write our list of steps here. Divide, multiply, subtract, check, and bring down, right? Okay, first step. How many times can 9 fit into 6? We're breaking apart 640 and 2. We're breaking apart, we're going step by step. 9 cannot fit into 6, so we're gonna put a little placeholder here, right? Next, it couldn't fit into 6, so now we're gonna try 64. Can 9 fit into 64? Yes, it can. How many times? Well, I know 9 times 7 is 63, which is really close, right? We want to get as close as we can to this number. 7 times 9 is 63. So we put this down. Now we're going to subtract. And we get 1. So far we divided, we multiplied, and now we're subtracting. 1 is less than 9, so we're all good. And now I'm going to bring this 2 down. Okay? And now our new number is 12. How many times can 9 fit into 12? 1 time. 1 times 9 is 9. We subtract, we check, 3 is less than 9. There's nothing left to bring down, so this 3 is our remainder, okay? And those are 3 problems on long division.